I'm 32F and I still have the bruise-shaped scar on my soul from that day. If you've ever had a step-parent try to erase you from the family you were born into, drop your state below. I need to remember I wasn't crazy. I grew up in a 3-flat in Lincoln Park that smelled like sawdust and Dad's Turkish coffee. He was a self-made contractor who turned post-2008 foreclosures into some of the most beautiful homes in Chicago. I was his shadow from the time I could hold a measuring tape. At 8, he carried me on his shoulders to job sites and let me pick the tile for a penthouse bathroom. One day, Livy, he'd say, "You're going to sign your name on buildings people fight to live in." Then Mom died when I was 11. Car accident. Dad crumbled. A year later, he brought home Vanessa, blonde, manicured, 15 years younger, with a teenage daughter who looked at our cracked linoleum like it personally offended her. They moved in 6 weeks after the first date. Dad said, "She makes me feel alive again." I was 12. I just wanted my mom's lasagna recipe back. Vanessa wasted no time. My bedroom became Brittany's glam room. My college fund that Mom had started mysteriously paid for Brittany's private high school. Dad kept promising it would even out. It never did. Every Christmas, I got a $50 Target gift card while Brittany unboxed MacBooks and Cartier bracelets. Dad would sneak me envelopes later. "For your future studio, baby. Don't tell V." I left for U of I on full scholarship and never moved back. I waited tables, interned for free, slept in my car some nights, and graduated top of my architecture class. Dad came to my graduation alone. Vanessa said it clashed with Brittany's cheer nationals. He handed me a check for $18,000 in the parking lot and whispered, "Seed money." I'm so proud. Fast forward 10 years, I'd just signed the lease on my first real office, 800 square feet of exposed brick in the West Loop, when Dad's diagnosis hit, stage 4 pancreatic. 4 to 6 months, Vanessa turned the house into a fortress. She changed the gate code, told the nurses I stressed him out, and started posting Instagram stories of herself spoon Kim Kale smoothies with captions like #caregiverlife, #myhero. I drove 4 hours every weekend anyway. The last time I saw him conscious, he grabbed my hand so hard his IT needle shifted. "Blue folder, Livy," he rasped. "Top drawer of my desk. Promise me you'll open it when I'm gone." 2 days later, Vanessa texted, "Richard passed peacefully. Please respect our privacy during this difficult time." No call. No head. I found out from a Facebook post. The funeral was a circus. Vanessa rented the biggest room at the Drake, hired a string quartet, and wore a black feathered fascinator that cost more than my first car. Brittany livestreamed the entire thing, crying with perfect mascara streaks for her 87K followers. I stood in the back row in the same black blazer I'd worn to my college interviews because Vanessa had told the funeral director only immediate family in the first 3 rows. I didn't cry until they lowered the casket. Then I ugly cried into the sleeve of that blazer while Vanessa posed for photos with the governor. A week later, the will reading was scheduled at Hoffman and Associates in the Loop. I almost didn't go. My firm had exactly $2,400 in the checking account, and I was living on peanut butter sandwiches. But the blue folder kept me awake at night. I walked into the conference room in boots I'd worn to a job site that morning. Vanessa was already seated at the head of the table in head-to-toe Chanel. Brittany next to her in a white mini dress mourning is a construct. My Uncle Ron gave me a small wave. The court reporter looked bored. Vanessa stood before Mr. Hoffman could even open the file. "For the record," she announced, loud and syrupy. "Richard and I updated his estate plan in 2023 after Olivia made it clear she wanted nothing to do with family obligations. She hasn't contributed a single dollar to this household in over a decade. Brittany and I are the beneficiaries now. I just want transparency so there we can all heal." Every eye turned to me, my throat closed. I tasted metal. Mr. Hoffman didn't even blink. "Mrs. Carter, please sit down." "It's Mrs. James Carter," she corrected with a smile sharp enough to cut glass. Mr. Hoffman ignored her. He adjusted his glasses and began, "Last Will and Testament of Richard James Carter. Dated March 14th, 2025. Executed in presence of 2 disinterested witnesses and video recorded." Vanessa rolled her eyes. "There must be an older version." "No," Mr. Hoffman said calmly. "This is the only valid will." He started reading, "To my former wife, Vanessa James, I leave the 2022 Lexus RX, currently in her possession, and my wedding band, so she remembers the man she promised to honor in sickness and in health. To my stepdaughter, Brittany Marie Sloan, I leave the sum of $1, as that is the exact amount she has ever contributed to this family without being asked to repay it." Brittany shrieked. Vanessa went white under her contour. "To my daughter, Olivia James Carter, my only child, I leave the remainder of my estate in its entirety. The primary residence at 28 Lakeview Terrace, appraised at $2.8 million. The commercial building at 412 North Wells Street, current lease with Blue Bottle Coffee generating $178,000 annually. Fidelity accounts ending 3,319 and 5,574 with a combined balance of $4,722,000 as of market close yesterday. The 1969 Camaro SS in the garage. All tools, blueprints, and intellectual property from Carter Custom Homes. And every remaining asset not specifically mentioned. The room spun. Mr. Hoffman clicked a remote. The wall screen lit up with Dad in his hospital bed, yellow but lucid, 9 days before he died. If you're watching this, Vanessa banned Livy again. She hasn't let my daughter in this house in 3 weeks. I'm fixing it now. Everything I built was for Olivia, not the woman who redecorated my life the second I got sick. Not the girl who called my daughter the help since she was 12. My Livy, the one who sat with me when the pain was so bad I begged for it to end. Give her every penny. And if Vanessa fights it, play the second video. He gestured weakly to a manila envelope on the tray table. Blue folder. Mr. Hoffman stopped the video. He opened the actual blue folder and fanned documents across the table like a deck of cards. Inside, 8 years of my birthday cards, all unopened, with checks still inside totaling $187,400. A handwritten ledger titled Money V Stole for herself and Brittany, with dates, amounts, and receipts. $28,000 girls' trip to Tulum. $14,700 Brittany's nose. $62,000 home renovations that were actually Neiman Marcus. Bank statements showing transfers from Dad's account to Vanessa's the same day he was in the ICU. And the second video, Dad's voice, weaker, if she contests. Give the IRS the offshore account numbers in the safe. Combination is Livy's birthday. Vanessa lunged for the folder. Security, apparently on standby, appeared instantly. Mr. Hoffman never raised his voice. Mrs. James Carter, you and your daughter have 30 days to vacate Lakeview Terrace. After that, the locks will be changed and trespassers will be prosecuted. The estate has already filed a fraudulent transfer. Claim for the $920,000 you moved to the Caymans last year. The U.S. attorney is expecting our call. I finally spoke. My voice was quiet, steady, the way Dad taught me to speak to difficult clients. You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to remove anything you legally own. I'll be by with the police to inventory. After that, the house goes on the market furnished. I hear it photographs beautifully. Brittany started screaming that I was a home-wrecking whore. Vanessa tried to slap me. Security caught her wrist. I didn't flinch. I walked out into the Chicago wind with the blue folder under my arm and $4.72 million waiting for me to decide what kind of life I wanted. They fought it for 10 brutal months. Vanessa claimed coercion, dementia, forgery. The judge watched both hospital videos, looked at the ledger, and dismissed the case with prejudice in 14 minutes. Vanessa was ordered to repay $1.18 million with interest. She declared bankruptcy instead. I kept the Lakeview house exactly 1 year, long enough to host my first open house for James Carter Studio in the home Dad built with his own hands. Then I sold it for $3.1 million and bought a live-work loft in Fulton Market with 22-foot ceilings and southern light that makes every fabric sample glow. The Wells Street building became our flagship showroom. We gut-renovated the top floor into a design library with Dad's original drafting table as the centerpiece. Clients cry when they sit at it. I get it. Brittany's influencer career imploded when the eviction photos hit TMZ Trust Fund teen tossed from mansion. Her GoFundMe for moving expenses raised $63 before it was taken down for fraud. Vanessa's now a fragrant spritzer at Macy's State Street, the same counter where Dad once bought me my first bottle of perfume for my 16th birthday. I drive a forest green Defender now. The Camaro money paid for it outright. Every Sunday, I park it in front of the old house. Just to see the new owner's kids riding bikes in the driveway Dad poured with his own hands. Some nights, I still open the blue folder and run my fingers over Dad's handwriting. I kept one check, the very first $18,000 one, framed in my office. It's not cashed. It never will be. Because some things aren't about the money. What would you have done the second? She stood up and declared you'd been cut out in front of 20 people who pretended to believe her. Thank you for listening. I built the studio Dad always knew I would, and every brick, every beam, every light fixture has his name on it. Forever.